Okay, guys, let's do top 20 celebrities couples with age gap difference. Oh. Yeah, my.
She walks into.
For this list, we know that age might just be a number, but we'll be looking at some pretty big ones when it comes to the gap between these couples' ages. We'll also be taking into consideration how well known the celebs are. While the couples don't have to still be together, we won't be considering couples where one or both. Your comments are more than just a number to us, so let us know your thoughts on the list in the comments below. Number 20, Elton John and David Furnish, 15 years.
When David walked through the door that night, there was something that immediately clicked with him.
If we learn anything from Elton and David's love story, it's that if you're single, you shouldn't hesitate to accept an invitation to a dinner party because you won't just meet the love of your life. That's what happened to
I'm not
Furnish
against
when he
Aaron
agreed to be a
John. I
friend to
don't
Love
like
One
his
to a
music.
dinner
I'm
party
sorry.
at Elton John's place in London in October of 1993. David and John hit it off immediately. And obviously, the 15-year age difference didn't bother either of them, as David returned the next night for a one-on-one meal with the Rocket Man. The couple has basically been together ever since, creating a civil union in 2005 and getting married in 2014, a few months after same-sex marriage was legalized in Great Britain.
Do you feel like celebrating? Do you feel like letting your hair down?
Number 19, Hillary Burton and Jeffrey Dean Morgan, 16 years.
Hi, what's up? Hey, how are you?
In May of 2009, a soon-to-be 27-year-old Hillary Burton and a just-turned 43-year-old Jeffrey Dean Morgan were introduced by their mutual friends Jensen Ackles and Danielle Harris. Danielle was Hillary's former co-star on One Tree Hill, and Jensen had worked with Jeffrey on Supernatural.
What's next?
Well, as it turns out, sometimes your friends do know what's best for you. And these two didn't waste any time consummating their relationship either, as Morgan hinted on Instagram in May of 2021, quote, been with her ever since that night. In fact, 2 kids later, one 11,
See, me and my boyfriend are the same.
so a 16-year difference.
I'm 28, he's 27, so that would make.
Number 18, Heidi Klum
I
and
don't
Tom
know.
Cowlitz, 16 years. Like the 2 previous couples on this list, Klum and Cowlitz hit it off right away. They first met while Klum was in her home country of Germany, hosting Germany's
Yeah,
Next
my
Top Model.
birthday's March.
So the first one is Waschbrennen.
Cowlitz, guitarist
My
for the German
boyfriend's
rock band
birthday's
Tokyo
tonight,
Hotel,
so
is,
March,
well, also German. And
April,
that connection turned out to be just
May,
one of
June,
many things these lovebirds had in
July.
common.
So I think
As one source told Us
3-4
Weekly,
years
quote,
apart together.
they fell into an easy
I
rhythm
think.
really quickly. One thing they don't have in common is their age. When Cowlitz was born in September of 1989, Klum had recently turned 16. But as Klum told InStyle, besides when people ask her about the age difference, quote, I don't really think about it that much otherwise.
I found the love of my life. Better late than never.
Also ich habe nie an das Konzept der einen großen Liebe geglaubt,
German.
weil ich eigentlich immer gedacht habe, dass es die große Liebe gar nicht gibt, bis ich sie dann getroffen habe.
Number 17, Leonardo DiCaprio and Camila Morrone, 22 years. We could just tell you that DiCaprio was almost 23 years older than Morrone, or we can point out the fact that she was only 6 months old when Titanic premiered in U.S. theaters.
We're gonna make it, Rose! Trust me!
When millions of people around the world were crying as Leo sank to the bottom of the ocean, Morrone was crying because she needed her diaper changed. Cut to 2010, and Al Pacino introduces 12-year-old Camila, whose mother he was in a relationship with at the time, to his friend Leonardo. And no, not in that way.
Where's my money, Hank?
But now, cut to 2017, and DiCaprio reconnects with Morrone at the Cannes Film
He
Festival.
got
And
heavier.
about 6 months after that, they're dating. Insert your own King of the World joke here. Number 16, David Cross and Amber Tamblyn, 19 years. Did you hear the one about the young actress who hung out with the comedian 19 years older than her on a plane and fell in love? While you might think this was a setup to a David Cross comedy sketch, it's actually how he met his beautiful wife, actress and writer Amber Tamblyn. Cross has said that despite having seen one another around LA, he was, quote, slow to make any moves years because of our age difference.
Blah, 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 blah. Rules 1, 2, 3 of pants. Blah, blah, blah. Prayer and romance.
But you also can't fight true love. And Cross has also said that from the moment they met on that plane, it was, quote, so obvious they would eventually be together. And they did eventually start dating, get married, and have a child together. Which we assume means that Tobias got over that never-knew thing.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, I need to be completely undressed.
Number 15, Florence Pugh and Zach Braff, 21 years. To many of us, Zach Braff will always be the young Dr. Dorian who walked into Sacred Heart Hospital as a wide-eyed intern.
I guess I get a little goofy when I'm nervous.
But while his appearance might still be rather youthful, the man was born in April of 1975, which means he was 43 or 44, depending on when exactly in 2019 he started dating Pugh. As for Florence, she had just turned 23 in January of 2019, and the age gap has not gone unnoticed. After Braff
don't
commented
look like
on one of Pugh's
40s.
IG posts in 2019, a user mentioned him, posting, quote, "You're 44 years old." Pugh replied to the commenter herself, and the Little Women star later told Elle magazine that she felt she had to because, quote, "People need to realize that it's hurtful."
I'm a failure. Joe is in New York playing a writer, and I'm a failure.
Number 14, Rupert Murdoch and Jerry Hall, 25 years.
I had a wonderful
19
Valentine's Day.
minutes.
Former model Jerry Hall seems to have a bit of a thing for older men. Or maybe it's that older men have a thing for her. But prior to her marriage to media mogul Rupert Murdoch, she had a 2-decade-long romance with the
And
man
that's
who
just why I
does
have
look like Jagger. Mick
him
Jagger
and I was
himself.
like
And then
this
Mick got
close to
down on
age.
his hands and knees, begged me to marry him again.
But the 13-year age gap between Hall and Jagger is nothing compared to the 25 years the nonagenarian Murdoch has on her. The couple started dating in 2015 and were engaged within 4 months. They tied the knot in 2016. Number 13, Alec Baldwin and Ilaria Baldwin, 26 years. It sounds like the IMDb summary of a romantic comedy. A soon-to-be 53-year-old man is having dinner with a friend when he sees a beautiful girl. Sure, she's 26 years younger than him, but that doesn't stop him from walking up to her and telling her, "I must know you." He gives her his number, and less than a year and a half later, they're married in New York City. Well, it isn't a movie, but the man in the story is a movie star.
Don't get wrong. What's up with a 50-year-old man
was Alec Baldwin.
likes younger
Woman
women
was
now?
soon-to-be Ilaria
Do they?
Baldwin, and as of 2021,
No.
it's still going strong, and have added 6 kids to the mix as well.
Then Leo, I'll let you tell it. Leo
Please
virtually
find my
speared the
Instagram,
cake
babe.
like it was in Lord of the
It was
Flies.
like a mud bath. It was really,
Yeah,
it was
doing
great.
Number 12, Kris Jenner and Corey Gamble, 25 years.
Being around y'all and your mother, I think they just start jumping in day by day.
It's a tale as old as time. You're in Ibiza, you're having a good time at Kanye West's party for fashion designer Riccardo Tisci's 40th birthday, and you happen to notice the momager/mogul of the Jenner Kardashian empire. She's about 25 years your senior, but you get to chatting, and a few months later, you're a couple. Come on, who can't relate to that? Okay, so no one except
I
Tori
watched
Gamble.
this show.
And while many in her family weren't too sure about him and the relationship, Jenner was and has remained so.
See, my cousin
Which is all
Abel
that
did
matters,
one
right?
of them.
So if I don't have kids and the love is still strong, and we got the friendship like the current situation I'm in,
I'm happy my cousin.
Number 11, George Clooney and Amal Clooney, 17 years.
We had to hide for a couple of months because you just want to make sure. You know, you
Right.
you want to get to know each other and get to spend time with each other and not do it, on the front page of Hello magazine.
George Clooney was one of Hollywood's great bachelors. That was true until July of 2013 in Lake Como, Italy, when he met the brilliant and beautiful Amal Clooney. But while there was a pretty immediate attraction on Clooney's end, the Ocean's 11 star was a little unsure about how Amal felt towards him because of the age gap, as he told Howard Stern.
I couldn't tell if she liked me, but because I'm 17 years older than her, so she might have thought I was, a geezer, right?
Obviously she didn't, or she really liked grandpas, because in October, they reportedly had their first date, and in April of 2014, their engagement was confirmed. Well done, Grandpa. Number 10, Sam Taylor Johnson and Aaron Taylor Johnson, 23 years. In 2008, Aaron auditioned for the film Nowhere Boy. The film film was Samantha's directorial debut, and when Erin walked in, she found the leading man in the film and in her life.
I'm John. Oh.
And while a 23-year age gap might seem like a big deal to some, Erin told the Telegraph UK that, quote, "When I met Sam, I'd already lived a life far beyond that of most of my contemporaries. I didn't relate to anyone my age." Now, while the connection was intense, the actor and director kept things very professional during the making of the movie.
We're blocking it out, composing the shot, and then I'm behind the monitor, I'm watching it, and I'm like, oh.
They still had not been on a date or kissed when the film wrapped, but the moment they were done, Erin told Sam he was going to marry her.
Discover BetMGM
Damn it,
Casino
this one
and
did.
live into a
Why?
world filled with all your favorite casino games.
That's what the levels does.
Up to $1,000 plus $25 on the house. Sign up today.
Number 9.
I
Jason
think that's
Statham
an-
and Rosie Huntington Whiteley. 20 years. We'd love to tell you how these two met, but we don't know. Some reports have them meeting at Coachella, while others put it on the set of Transformers: Dark of the Moon.
What is it?
This is your new Lucky Bunny. We do know that it was in 2010, and while the 20-year age gap did raise some eyebrows, Rosie has said that they, quote, "have a connection that has nothing to do with age." For those curious about wedding bells, Rosie has said that she believes in marriage, but, quote, "being in a happy relationship is much more important to me." And while they did get engaged in 2016, they have yet to officially tie the knot as of 2021.
You know, we definitely talk about it, we're looking forward to that time, but it's something like, as far as he's not, we're so happy.
They do have one child, with another one on the way as of August 2021. Number 8, Elliot Spencer and Stephen Fry, 30 years.
My cousin Lord Alfred Douglas is here. He would very much like to congratulate you.
Comedian, actor, and writer Stephen Fry has been a staple of the British comedy scene since the 1980s. And speaking of the 80s, his husband, Elliot Spencer, was born in said decade, 1987 to be exact, which was the same year that Fry turned 30. But even though Stephen had found lots of
1987.
professional happiness, personal happiness wasn't as evident until he met Elliot in 2012. As you may have expected, there were some
I
shock
cancel them,
onlookers
okay?
given the age gap between the two. But as you also probably expected, Spencer shot back at the haters, saying, quote, "I don't care what people think. Stephen is the love of my life, the light of my life."
Of two people.
Number 7, Ben Kingsley and Daniela Lavender, 31 years.
I have no defense, my lord. I'm guilty as charged.
From Gandhi to a sexy beast, Ben Kingsley has played many roles over his long and illustrious professional career.
I'm not going to put it out. You're just going to have to wait till I finish it. Simple as that.
And the same is true for his private life, in which he has played the role of husband 4 times, including his marriage to Daniela Lavender, which began in 2007 when he was 63 and she was 32.
Pina.
While the 31-year age difference is a lot, it isn't new to Kingsley, who in the 90s dated Kate Townsend, an actress who was 30 years his junior. They dated, but no, she is not one of his 3 ex-wives. Number 6, Warren Beatty and Annette Bening, 21 years. If you thought George Clooney was one of the great bachelors, let us tell you that his bachelorhood does not hold a candle to one of the all-time most iconic Hollywood bachelors, Warren Beatty. In fact, Carly Simon, who has said that the second verse of her famous song You're So Vain is about Beatty, when talking about having dated the famous actor, followed it up with, quote, "Hasn't everybody?" And that was very true, until he met Annette Bening for lunch to prepare for their co-starring roles in 1991's Bugsy.
The way you were staring at me, I thought you were going to ask me for something a little more exciting. Use your imagination.
And that was it. The 50-something-year-old Beatty had found his perfect someone in the 30-something-year-old Bening. And his bachelor days were over. They were married in 1992. Number 5, Harrison Ford and Callista Flockhart, 22 years. Sure, the odds are really low that someone who's never seen the original Star Wars movies would end up married to the man who played Han Solo in those films, but you know how Han feels about odds.
Never tell me the odds.
Yeah, it's true. Callista Flockhart had not seen the films when they first met, and as she told Jimmy Kimmel, she had no idea what a Millennium Falcon was for quite some time.
You didn't know what the Millennium Falcon was?
I did not know.
You didn't know?
But that and the 22-year age difference were no match for the true love that started to bloom between these two when they first met at the 2000
minutes.
According to Callista,
Damn.
she even sometimes forgets how big the age gap between them is, telling Hello Magazine, quote, "It doesn't factor into our relationship at all." Number 4, Michael Douglas and Catherine Zeta-Jones, 25 years. Douglas and Zeta-Jones share a love for each other and a birthday. Yep, Michael and Catherine were born on the exact same day, September 25th, just 25 years apart. We don't know if that amazing coincidence has anything to do with it, but the Traffic co-stars have remained one of the strongest couples in Hollywood since meeting all the way back in 1998, after seeing her in The Mask of Zorro as a child. Douglas, like pretty much everyone else in the world, wanted to meet Zeta-Jones. But unlike the rest of us, what Michael Douglas wants, he often gets, and this was no exception.
I think it's not taking the person closest to you for granted.
They ended up meeting thanks to being introduced by a fellow actor while they were both in Europe for a film festival. They were married in 2000. Number 3, Rod Stewart and Kenny Lancaster, 26 years.
I got her phone number. I just broke it.
Alright guys, I'm gonna
Gave it to the bass player.
stop right here and then I will see you my last video, so I see you then.